I can last because it's like it's sitting right there. It's just ready for me. And then I also crush up nuts of some sort on top. I put pecans or walnuts or peanuts or sunflower seeds, and that I put on top. And I use coconut milk because I love it. Unsweetened coconut milk is what I will put on it, and sliced bananas. So I build like just an amazingness. I love it. And I love as well grating zucchini into it. I put half a cup of zucchini because one of my goals is to include vegetables in every meal if possible, because I feel like we just don't get enough vegetables. Fruit is usually easy to get in. You know, it's more like, okay, I'll limit myself to the mango, especially with they're ready right now. So good. You know, I'll limit myself to a mango a day, but when it comes to veggies, I try and, you know, add it in whenever. And again, this is such a sustainable meal for me. Finding this out has been a huge thing for me, because again, if you're someone who deals with blood sugar, or if you're not even, it's just something that it's like I can carry through until lunch if I have to and still have cognitive function, which is great for me. Yeah, totally. Big goal. And what do you enjoy?
I agree. I love what Jen does. The only difference is instead of coconut milk, I just love Greek yogurt. I personally, I do appreciate.
And I used to do that.
Yeah, Jen used to. She no longer does dairy. Personally, I still appreciate Greek yogurt as well as cottage cheese. I love that they're high protein and so easily accessible and available proteins, and at a low cost too compared to like meat proteins. So I would do the exact same thing. The only thing is instead of coconut milk, I would instead mix some Greek yogurt into it, and it's phenomenal. My family is like, how is this so good? And when you make something that's incredibly nutritious but also delicious, and your children are asking for more, it's like,
I also put these in.
Thank you.
They're cacao nibs, just because I like chocolate.
Yeah.
But these are like healthy.
Yeah, totally.
Lots of fiber,
Yes.
protein. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is one option. The other option that's pretty common is twofold. One is just eggs and avocado. So I'll have 2 eggs with half of a sliced avocado. If it's like, you know, a medium-sized avocado, if they're like the large ones from Costco, I'll often find that a third of one is sufficient. There's times though that avocado is not ripe, or it's overly ripe and it just belongs in a shake. And so if avocado isn't the right texture, I personally prefer to make a shake with it. So I'll make a shake that has ice, unsweetened almond milk, along with the avocado, whether it be a third or a half. I'll throw some peanut butter and hemp hearts in it, as well as some organic cocoa. And I'm telling you, it is absolutely phenomenal. It's like a peanut butter chocolate shake for breakfast. And because I am a chocolate lover, like I genuinely love chocolate.
Me too.
If I can have it in a shake, or if I can have it in dark chocolate, I am amazed at how it can satisfy the sweet tooth without crying out for more. And so that shake is an option. If by chance it's not chocolate peanut butter, I'll throw some berries in as an alternative instead. So just a couple of options, but because I love eggs, I literally do have the eggs every single morning. And it sounds obnoxious, but it is what it is. I do make eggs a little bit in advance, so I don't wait to see if I have time. It's like at 6:30 a.m. If I know that we're sitting down at 7 a.m., they will be either getting started at 6:30 a.m. or if needed, I will prepare them, go to the gym, come back and reheat them so that we can fit it in, because otherwise it takes a solid 15 minutes to make them, and you are under a time crunch in the morning. So sometimes breakfast means getting up a bit earlier. So yeah, setting yourself up for success. They say, you've heard it, breakfast is the most important meal a day. I genuinely believe that for me. I can't say it's true for everybody, but for me it absolutely is.
Yeah. And it's the same for me. I think it's different depending on your schedule as well. Like we both work out in the morning, and so then breakfast to me is so essential for me making good choices the rest of the day. Having something that I feel like I'm not hungry all day. Like you kind of feel that way, because then you make up for it at 8:30 or 9 o'clock.
And to pair with that too, and it does go along with cravings. If you're somebody who does exercise in the morning, your muscles genuinely do need nutrition within 1 hour of your workout. They are like most rapid fire, ready to take up the nutrients to allow for recovery and replenishment. After the 1 hour period, they get incredibly lazy. So your nutrient uptake just goes, and so your recovery is quite weak actually. So for those of you who exercise, whether I say morning, but forget the morning time frame, anytime you exercise, you definitely want to have a replenishment within an hour at most after.
And realizing how that works for you and your schedule, and just being prepared to, like I said, having this in my fridge makes me run further in the morning, because I know that when I get home I have something solid, like I can hold off. And I typically have like just a little like L-glutamine right after I run, and then I'll do my shower and then have this. And it's just good having something that is going to feed your body well. I think that's a big thing with, even like you said, Rachel, like how do I make that choice when I'm low, is I have a peanut butter ball in my fridge, or I have like there's a homemade chocolate recipe that I love, just coconut oil and cocoa powder and peanut butter with stevia, and I have that in the freezer. And so it's like you have kind of like I know there's something that I love, that's satisfying, that I can look forward to, and realizing that that's important to have those things, and be prepared.
It's great when you consider homemade chocolate, and we do have some recipes that we will be emailing out, but just as a heads up, when you consider homemade chocolate to be something that's rich in magnesium, that's rich in fiber, that's rich in your omegas, when you're actually consuming that as chocolate versus a crispy crunch bar, your body treats the two chocolates completely different ways. So one can be nourishing and satisfying, where the other will throw you back into that tailspin of the crash.
And I was mentioning on the break as well how a lot of it is forming those habits. Where you, in your mind, you've been sold this truth that KD is going to be your quick meal that you need, because you don't have time. But the truth is when you get in the habit of having fresh fruits and vegetables on hand, I can whip up a salad way faster than my husband can make those Kraft Dinner noodles. And realizing that it's like, okay, this is my new convenience food. This is my new, I have it on hand food, and just getting into those habits. And again, that is a process. And I mean, Dr. Caroline Leaf talks about, and you've probably heard, 21 days that it takes to form a habit. But the truth is it's 3 cycles of those 21 days that will make it the subconscious. I don't know, were you going to say that?
No.
Oh yeah.
Soon enough. Yes.
Is that where you're getting to though?
Not quite.
Did I miss? Oh, okay.
Let's talk like different carbs. Because we've covered some fats. We've given you some examples of fats for breakfast. Maybe let's talk a little bit more about the food specific stuff, including different carbs and snacks. Before we get to that, is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, I was like, what's it?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I noticed that you have stuff from Costco, but where do you guys do the majority of your shopping?
Oh, as far as like, and actually this has been found by one of our friends at Costco, but typically I do Nutters for, but that's for my supplements more so, if there's any supplements I'm taking, but I do buy a lot at Costco. Costco has a lot of organic options. I think it's the most cost effective, especially like all these things, like this is all Costco. This is all Costco. This is another good option for breakfast. And it is, although it's a carb, so there's something called, if you've ever heard of the glycemic index. So there's things that, as far as carbohydrates, where they fall on how much they affect your blood sugar. So things that are more processed, things that like our chips, or even like a white rice or pretzels or white bread, they're going to operate different in our body than a steel cut oat or sprouted grain breads even. Like these, I love the Little Big Bread at Costco. Is awesome. I keep all my bread in my freezer, so I didn't bring it because I don't like it to thaw too many times, But those things actually work differently in our body, because our body actually has to take time to break them down. When it's stuff that's quick, it's going to be something that it's quickly rotated out, and where you need more and more to fill it. And so something like oats, like I said, even though they're a carb, they have fat and protein in them as well. This is still a blood sugar stabilizing breakfast, even though it's a carb, because it's not quick oats. Quick oats are different than steel cut oats or even large flake oats. And so, or packaged instant oatmeal in the boxes pre-flavored, that's not going to be a great option. And, or even when it comes to cereals or things like that, like your granola, it's like, yes, there is some proteins and fats in there, but there's also a large amount of sugar, and so, and a large amount of processing. So that is probably still going to be something, if you have in milk at 7:30 or 8 in the morning, that you're still going to feel that at 10 o'clock, or where you're just like, and it's not that, I still usually have something, like I still snack in the day. It's not like I don't snack, but you won't feel the same, you know, like the dragging your feet sort of feeling. Yeah, which is good. Other carbs that, I have some like brown rice crackers. You can get organic ones from Costco. Those are a good alternative to bread even. I think I did bring them and I didn't put them up. As far as carbs, I have them in a pita bag, of course, always reusing. But these ones, I think are awesome. And because those of us who, it's like I still feel like I need to have a slice of bread with my soup or my whatever. I actually grill cheese on these for my kids all the time. They love them. I just put a slice of cheese and broil them in my oven for whatever, a couple minutes, and they love them, and it's their grilled cheese sandwich. And so a lot is about giving your body the balance of lots of different foods that you can have, even when it comes to dressings. Like I said, I do a salad usually for lunch every day. That's just my go-to, whether I'm going somewhere or I'm at home. I just always make a salad, because to me it's kind of like you can use up your leftovers. I love like leftover sweet potato. Oh, that's like my favorite. Roasted sweet potato on my salad. Or you can buy oven roasted tomatoes from Costco, or like different things that spice it up, and then a bunch of veggies, and alternatives to a dressing that would have a canola oil or a soybean oil, or oils that are harder on your body, is to make simple, like here's balsamic and olive oil, and then I just use this from Epicure, and it's just so simple. Like there's kind of no reason why you can't. I have a jar to make it, but there is just simple stuff that, again, it's building those habits. And when you make a jar full of it, of your dressing, that's a long time that you have that. I usually put apple cider vinegar in mine as well, just because apple cider vinegar is just good for your body in general. And so I like to use that. So that's carbs, fats, proteins. We said we had some seeds and stuff, but also nuts are a great source of protein. Of course, we need to, I think it's good to have a balance. I love having nuts even with vegetables. I love like mixing carrots and pecans, or carrots and almonds together. I just think it's so good. Kind of like celery and peanut butter. I think, again, trying to get in as many veggies as you can, but nuts are a great thing that you can have with you on the go. But why, again, building habits is so important, because if you're having, like a handful of almonds or something when you're going to get hungry, that's going to help you make a better decision when you get to lunchtime, if you've kind of kept up with that. But also remembering that you're not going to die. This is really important. You're not going to die. If you get home and you haven't eaten for 5 hours, yes, there's a whole bunch of things happening in your brain, and you're like, I need to eat, but you actually won't die. Like you're going to make it. you know, even if it takes 7 minutes to make some kind of salad or grill up a couple cheese cakes and have some veggies on the side, grab a couple of those mini cucumbers, you know, you're gonna make it. And it's good for us to mentally be prepared that there's gonna be times that I haven't stuck to my plan and now I'm craving and now I'm really hungry, but I've already pre-prepared myself that, you know what, people can hike up a mountain and survive for days without food. 40 actually, you know, so if I can handle another 4 minutes or 40 minutes and I'm gonna survive. And so just playing with your mind, it's kind of like if you've ever pushed yourself in a workout. It's like, okay, you know, I think I will be okay. Your mind often is your greatest defeater. It's like, no, I need those chips right now. I need that cookie right now because I'm hungry and I need that pleasure. It's like, okay, I'm gonna be okay, and I'm gonna wait till we get home and I have this option. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, and this I think is the bubbly has been wonderful, especially for my children. Like carbonation, I don't think is always 100% best for your body. At least for me, I always feel like I'm floating away. But for my children, I love that it's like, you know what? Yes, you can have a bubbly and not a Pepsi. Or, you know, it's like they got given these at the parade.
Wow.
Full cans of pop. And it's still in my fridge because I'm like, my son actually, I was like, you know what, buddy? It's just it's actually toxic in your body. Sugar is actually toxic to your body. It's an anti-nutrient, which means it actually fights against your body. Your body has to work harder to deal with the detrimental effects of sugar. It doesn't feed you anything. And so, which is why, if you even saw my post about the differing between white sugar and a mango, I mean, there's a lot of people where it's like low carb diet, which is fine. I think that's really brought a lot of success for people, but realizing that not all carbs are created equal in the sense of the mango actually is filled with vitamins as well and nutrients. So it's not an anti-nutrient. It's not actually killing your body as you eat it like this is, which I told my 8-year-old son. I'm just like, it's so bad for your body. And so he's like, okay. So he like chugs a quarter of it and dumps the rest down the sink. And I'm just like, thanks, buddy. My drains needed to be cleaned. Because that's what it'll do. And it's just, you know, like realizing those effects on your body, having those conversations. Yeah.
I missed about the bubbly. What's in
Oh, bubbly is actually, it's natural flavor. There's no sugar. It's just carbonated water.
Did they use stevia?
No. There's no sweetener.
No sweetener.
And there's grapefruit and strawberry and orange and lemon lime, and I just found cherry.
Oh, so it's got like natural fruit in it?
Yeah, it has like a natural flavor. So it has, what does it say? Natural flavor. So it would
So
be.
it doesn't actually have fruit
an
juice in it then?
And there's no fruit
It's just
juice
a
in it.
flavoring.
Yeah,
And
almost like I would say like a natural oil, which is different than this.
Which is very different because a lot of people will see these, and then when you look at the sugar content, it's really not much different from what pop is. It's very
Yes.
similar. So
It's insane.
So-
These are like
thinking this
31,
is-
I think.
30 in comparison
30.
to 40.
Yeah.
And where do you get the bubbly from, just out of curiosity?
Bubbly, Costco has flats of it. Walmart has cases, so you can, because my kids love the lemon lime, so it makes more sense if I just get a case of one kind. But I've gotten the flat before.
Because we just got one of those soda stream things, and you
Yes.
can get flavorings that don't have sugar in them.
Exactly.
Because I do my own stevia, and I know some people in our family do not like the taste of stevia.
Right.
They can't stand it.
Yes.
But I prefer to put in stevia
Hmm.
instead of having this sugary stuff.
Have you tried this stevia? Or I didn't
I
bring
haven't done
my.
that. I've got my Nutters. It's either
It's a
English
white
toffee
powder?
or no, I use the English toffee drops or the
The
hazelnut
drops.
chocolate or
I
the
do like the
original
drops.
or the lemon or the chocolate or whatever. And you know, for a treat for me, because I've had to give up chocolate, is peanut butter, coconut oil, about a tablespoon of each. Put in
Yes.
about a half a teaspoon or a teaspoon of cocoa powder and
Yes.
some English toffee or hazelnut stevia and mix that up and put some hemp hearts in, and that's my chocolate treat.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm buying.
It's a
That's
chocolate
exactly what I
taste,
do. It's
Yeah.
so
and
good.
the coconut
tasty.
oil
You put it in the
holds
freezer,
me.
right?
No, I just eat
Oh,
it.
oh,
by
you
the
just eat it
spoon.
runny.
By the
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I like it when it
I
gets
used to put
hard.
on my hot bread, but then it just dripped through because
Oh.
the coconut oil, it just, so
Yeah.
I just eat it by the spoon.
Wow.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
There's
Yeah.
your chocolate
Have
treat.
think that's my
you,
chocolate treat.
Had Swerve? It's
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
that is a really great option.
What
I
is
think that's
Swerve?
it's one though that I haven't found at Nutters. You have to buy it online.
I found it here at Safeway.
Oh,
It's
really?
like an icing sugar, but there's no, I looked it up. No artificial ingredients, preservatives, or flavors. Non-glycemic and safe for those living with diabetes.
Is it in erythritol or something?
And a sugar alcohol of some type.
It's in the baking aisle.
Like this has like
I bet
xylitol
it probably
in it.
has
Yeah,
erythritol or
which is-
something,
yeah.
so it can give you diarrhea, I think, if you eat too
very
much of it.
so.
Right.
Erythritol.
It's true.
Yeah, monk fruit is a good option as well. It's something that doesn't or hit your blood sugars or doesn't mess with your blood sugar levels, and it's delicious, and it's a naturally based option as opposed to sugar alcohol, which is
Yeah, because you see some
Dissected.
of those ice cream things in Safeway that,
Mhm.
I can't remember, there's some low sugar content ice cream, but I
Yeah.
think they got erythritol, and
Mhm.
somebody warned me, if you eat too much of that, it'll give you the runs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, and things like
definitely.
aspartame, even like, so we're not saying go a no sugar diet.
Yeah.
Because that is different than a sugar habit. Because you can get quite addicted to things like aspartame, and that's a chemical which now, of course, studies are coming out after generation of using this miracle free sugar thing, that it's actually leading to issues that like Alzheimer's and dementia. It's messing with people's minds.
Yeah.
And so I would rather, if like even tonight I gave my kids frozen bananas sliced up. Like it's so sweet.
Yeah.
And even if you do like use dates when you cook, but you're making, energy balls or
Yeah.
something and using things in moderation, I still would rather
love
that
Mm-hmm.
than having artificial sweeteners.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Especially when you freeze dates, because it tastes like that caramel texture.
Mhm.
It's amazing for anybody who's a caramel fan. It tastes
Yeah.
incredible. We've even frozen our bananas, but dipped them like kind of like chocolate dipped strawberries, but
Yeah.
dipped them in our own chocolate that's made of coconut oil, cocoa powder, as well as stevia. And it's amazing when you dip that and then sprinkle with some crushed nuts.
Mhm.
It's like that whole monkey's tail, but homemade and whole.
Monkey's
It's
tail butt.
phenomenal.
That's all I heard. I was like,
It's true. Yes,
But-
it's
and-
true.
And for those of you that don't, like, this is a green leaf stevia. When I first had white powder stevia, I was like, oh, this is horrible. And this in minute amounts, I found I wasn't like, oh, what is that aftertaste that I don't like? I really am happy with this, and it lasts forever because honestly, I use like 1/8 of a teaspoon, in a baking or a smoothie.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll add that as well as a banana
Yeah.
into a smoothie or into my pancakes. So it adds a little extra, but I'm not relying on it for all the sweetness either.
Totally.
So that's the balance. But also give yourself time. Because in the same way that, if your taste buds have this, they recover every 30 days. It's important to realize that we can learn to like things that, people would think, how can you think that that's good?
Yeah.
It's like, well, I actually do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And our body's always repairing, which
Yeah.
is so encouraging. If you've had a sugar habit for a long time and there's been some damage in your body even intestinally, you have to realize that your body is regenerating.
Yeah.
Like you get brand new liver like every
2 to 3 years.
every 3 years I think.
I
So
it's 3 years.
like that's insane. You think it's like, oh, I've totally maxed out my body, but your body's incredible at regenerating when you're feeding it what it needs.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So kind of like just as a brief recap as a whole, what we would suggest and where we overlap is for sure have a higher fat breakfast to stabilize your blood sugars through the day.
Yeah.
Have a salad for lunch every day. If salad is not the option, perhaps it's, and I'm pointing to you, David, just because sometimes men are like,
I like
salad.
salad,
You
actually.
do
Do
like
you?
salad? Yay!
Yes.
So have a salad
Halfway
every
there.
day for lunch. When sugar cravings come, if it doesn't have to do with rest or connection, it is simply because I'm not eating enough vegetables. And the
Mhm.
moment I start being like, oh yeah, I'm kind of having 3 salads a week instead of 1 every day, instantly sugar cravings diminish. When it comes to preventing hunger, there's 2 options, to not crashing in the hunger, your 2 options are remembering you won't die in 40 minutes if you
Mhm.
have to wait.
Yeah.
If you have a period of time though where you're like, I actually am afraid that I'll crash so much that I will end up overeating or binging, I personally always have nuts on hand. I just
Mhm.
have nuts or
Yeah.
pumpkin seeds available so
Mhm.
that I can have literally a handful, just a handful, sometimes even just half a handful if I only need 40 minutes or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Literally that is enough to carry you through.
Yeah.
And I would say as a whole, it's not about restriction, but it's about replacement.
Mhm.
How can you replace
Mhm.
your sugar sweets with
Mhm.
homemade options, which again, recipes we will email to you.
Mhm.
If you don't like stevia and you know sugar's not the option, how can you replace it with a stevia that makes more sense to you? Like if we can think of replacing something versus restricting something.
Mhm.
Now it's not I can't have,
Right.
but how can I have this more healthfully?
Mhm.
If
Yeah.
we can answer that question, we're going to be able to go further versus just thinking we're going to get there faster and then
Mhm.
crashing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are gonna touch on it or not, but bone broth.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um, yep.
cuts of meat used to be cut with the bone
Yep.
in.
Mhm.
Now you
Mhm.
buy meat, it doesn't have the bone in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I couldn't
Same
figure out
with our
why
canned
whenever I get my brother's deer stew, why I felt so good when I'd eat it and he'd put in, and it's thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deer stew with carrots and parsnips and potatoes in it, and I
Sounds
always
so
felt
good.
so good after I ate it. Well, he was using the bone first, cooking it for
Yeah.
a good 48 hours before
Yeah.
putting all the vegetables in. And you
Mhm.
read the research on what bone broth has in it,
Yeah.
Amazing.
absolutely amazing how it changes the bacteria population in your gut
Yeah.
Yeah.
that favors health.
Yeah.
And if you don't have it, you can have a shift of population of the bacteria that favors obesity.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Getting that bone broth is
Yeah.
amazing.
But
Absolutely.
can I ask, did you say 48 hours?
I
that what you
believe
said?
you need to cook it for 48
Yeah.
hours.
I'm just gonna look that
Or
up
over
because
24.
I-
More than
Yeah.
24
Makes
at
me
More than
least.
jus,
24.
and it simmers for 48
It's
hours.
48 hours.
Yeah.
I am cutting it short.
Yeah.
I'm like
bone broth,
6 hours. That's plenty of time.
Yeah.
But I actually didn't know there was that time
I
limit on it.
think it's got to
Okay.
be more than 24.
Okay.
And
I need
I've
to
heard
look that up
something
because
about
that's new
it's
for
actually
me
better if you can
personally.
braise the bone first before you put it in with the water. I've heard that.
Okay, that's
But
awesome.
you got to take the time to do it. Luckily,
Yeah.
my brother's retired, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finding the time. Well, the
And his
beauty-
wife is getting tired of the deer meat, so I'm like, bring it on. I'll take the deer
Yeah.
stew.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All in. Yes.
wild meats,
Yes.
yeah. But realizing that there's some great convenient options, thankfully too. You can
Yeah.
buy powdered bone broth,
Yeah.
and even collagen is something that I have daily. Yeah, I make a hot chocolate drink and put collagen in it. You can even put it in this breakfast, and again, that's gonna promote just joint health. Great for your skin, great for aging.